All right, let's talk about Korean politeness. It's a topic that, trips up pretty much everyone at some point. You feel like you've got it down, you've memorized all the rules, you've practiced the bows, but then sometimes your best efforts just land a little bit weird. Today, we're going to dig into why that happens, and even better, how you can start to fix it.
Oh, it's such a frustrating feeling, isn't it? You're doing everything by the book, trying so hard to be respectful, but the reaction you get is just off. And you're left there thinking, what on earth did I do wrong? Well, here's the thing. Chances are you didn't do anything wrong. You probably just did the exact right thing at the absolute wrong time.
And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. See, the problem isn't usually your knowledge. It's about reading the social frame. Think of Korean politeness less like a fixed list of rules and more like a dynamic response to the context of any given moment.
So, the real skill is knowing which tool to pull out of your toolbox. In those really structured situations like a first business meeting, following the rules to the letter is your best friend. It's safe, it's clear, it shows respect. But when you're in a more fluid setting like a team dinner, being a robot with the rules can actually feel stiff and distant. And that's when reading the room becomes way more important.
This right here is the core shift we have to make. We're going to move away from trying to download a whole encyclopedia of etiquette into our brains and toward a much, much more powerful approach, just simple, effective observation. And this is that new mindset in action. So instead of thinking, okay, what's the rule for pouring a drink, you start asking, what does this specific moment with these specific people require from me? I'm telling you, it's a total game changer. It gives you the power to adapt, not just recite a script.
Okay, so that sounds great, but how do you actually do it? Well, this isn't about some vague intuition you either have or you don't. It's about having a simple, practical toolkit. And right now, we're going to give you 3 core questions that are going to guide you through pretty much any social situation you'll find yourself in.
First question, and it's a huge one. What's the relationship here? Are you talking to someone you literally just met? A coworker you see every day? Or a close friend you've known for ages? The answer is going to completely change the politeness expectations. The closer you are, the more wiggle room you have.
Second, you've got to think about hierarchy. And look, this isn't just about who the boss is. It's about age, it's about their professional title, their social standing. Is this person way older than you? Are they your manager's manager? Just being aware of who has seniority in the room is absolutely fundamental to getting it right.
And the third question is all about the setting. I mean, where are you? A quiet, buttoned-up restaurant for a serious business deal is going to demand a very different vibe than a loud, smoky barbecue joint on a Friday night. The environment itself is shouting clues at you about how formal you need to be.
Now, once you get the hang of those first 3 questions, you're ready to add a more advanced layer to your thinking. Let's call it the emotional temperature of the room. This is all about gauging the overall mood and, really, what the social stakes are in that moment.
And a really good way to think about this emotional temperature is to just ask yourself, how much social risk is this moment carrying? In other words, how big of a deal is it if I mess up? Is this just a low-risk, casual chat, or is this a high-stakes, make-or-break presentation? So you can see how all these factors start to add up, right? You're with someone high up in the hierarchy. That adds risk. You're in a very formal setting. That adds more risk. You don't know them very well. That subtracts from your comfort level, which, you guessed it, adds even more risk.
And when you put it all together, you're at a formal awards dinner with the CEO who you've only met once, well, that social risk meter is cranked all the way up to high. That's your signal. This is not the time to experiment. You default to your most formal, by-the-book etiquette. No question about it.
So let's take this whole toolkit and apply it to one of the trickiest places, the workplace. Because here, you're usually dealing with the same group of people, but in totally different contexts from one hour to the next.
This chart is a great way to see it in action. You're with the CEO, politeness is at maximum. No shortcuts. Then you go to a regular team meeting, it's standard, respectful language. But then you all go out for dinner after work. Things get more flexible. You're still aware of who's who, of course, but the way you interact can relax a bit. It's the same people, but a completely different playbook.
And this leads us to what is maybe the biggest question of all. How do you know when it's okay to go casual? Because if you make that move too soon, it can be a huge mistake. But if you never make it, you might keep relationships from ever really getting closer. So how do you know?
Well, you don't have to guess. You can use a checklist. First, check the vibe. Does it feel mutually comfortable? If you feel any hesitation from them, just hang back.
Second, be a detective. Watch how they talk to other people at your same level. It's a massive clue. Third, take baby steps. Don't just flip a switch to informal, test the waters. And finally, the safest, golden rule, wait for the person with more seniority to take the lead. Let them set the new tone.
And this brings us to such a critical idea. So often, we mistake someone's formality for their personality. We think they're being cold or distant, when really, it has nothing to do with who they are as a person. It's just a reflection of where you are in the relationship. As that relationship gets closer, the way you talk to each other will naturally change with it.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave you with this question. Think about it. What's one rigid social rule you've been clinging to that you could now maybe let go of and replace it with this new toolkit of just reading the room? Because once you shift from just memorizing to truly observing, you'll find your interactions don't just feel more correct, they'll feel a whole lot more human.